Coming up on A SkinDepth Convo.
And Metaxia goes, "What did you do over there?" I go, "I made homemade pumpkin pie right next to all the Greek desserts." So what she does is she takes her finger and sticks it right into the pie and turns it and messes up my pie. I went into shock and I go, "What are you doing?" So we start arguing in front of everybody. Then this is in front of our husbands, our children, our parents, our younger sister, everybody. Well, it got to the point there were 2 pies. So Metaxia and I took the 2 pies into my mom's laundry room.
Oh no.
And we had a pie fight.
Oh.
Okay.
We had a pumpkin match.
This is a show focused on educating and inspiring all those in the skincare and beauty industry. But it is also a show for those looking to improve themselves from the inside out. In each episode, we explore the latest trends, breakthrough technologies, and get expert insight within the dynamic world of skincare and beauty. If you're looking to further your beauty education and nurture your passion, you're in the right place. Renowned experts and hosts Metaxia Dalikas and Francine Kagarakis aim to educate and inspire through their own experiences and are dedicated to enlightening and empowering enthusiasts and professionals in the realm of skincare and beauty. Join the conversation and the fun with A SkinDepth Convo. Welcome to A SkinDepth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis. When you think of pumpkin, your mind probably goes straight to lattes, pies, and fall decorations. But did you know pumpkin is also one of the most powerful ingredients in skincare? The pumpkin industry in the fall generates millions of dollars worldwide. But in our industry, it's more than a seasonal craze. Pumpkin is packed with vitamins and minerals that brighten, hydrate, and repair the skin. It's a true multitasker, and Lira Clinical has taken pumpkin to the next level with the new Pumpkin Plus Smart Peel. Things are about to get spicy, and as always, let's welcome in our expert host, part of the founders of Lira Clinical, Metaxia Dalikas and Francine Kagarakis. Also joining us is the Lira Clinical Education Team, Tiffany Fraedrich and George Gallegos and Lu Ramos. Welcome in all. I'm really looking forward to breaking down pumpkin and why it's such a hero ingredient. But first, let's spice things up. Who has their pumpkin latte in hand? Hey. I got mine.
Woohoo! Great way to start this podcast. Pumpkin time.
It's so true. I got my
Nice.
Love it.
It's good. Is it all lattes? What's everyone drinking?
Pumpkin latte.
Pumpkin
latte.
chai.
Pumpkin chai.
Iced pumpkin
Pumpkin
cream
chai.
And I'm going to be different. I just have regular coffee with pumpkin creamer.
Oh, nice.
That also hit the
Excellent.
markets. Yeah, so pumpkin creamer hit the markets, and I ecstatic.
Awesome. This is Fran's favorite season. This is where her witching
Witching,
comes out.
yes.
Witching comes out.
Witching.
The witching comes out. I mean, I think for me, it's always been spring, but Fran, this is her season. So Fran, this is all about your pumpkin and pumpkins and your witches' hats, and I'm excited for this podcast.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, and you can see Anna loves it. And I think Tiffany has a little bit of favoritism with a little witchy bit in
Definitely
there.
my favorite, whether it's the weather and it's sweater weather. But you get to go
True.
to all the pumpkin patches, and just when you get those crisp mornings and you can tell, yep, the colder air is coming, that is just my absolute fave. To be able to go sit out on the porch, cup of coffee, and just have that kind of still in the air is just, I love it.
Tiffany, our frosted
Yes,
pumpkins.
frost on the pumpkins. And I did, as I was driving to get my pumpkin chai latte today, drove right past a corn maze, and they are opening next week. So super excited that I know now 2 by my house are going to be opening next week. So we get to get lost in a corn maze.
It's definitely nostalgic. I think that's the biggest thing, that this time of year is so incredibly nostalgic. What's interesting, listen to this. According to market research firm Nielsen IQ, a decade ago, sales of pumpkin spice products topped $361 million. In the 12-month period ending in July 2023, the sales of pumpkin spice related products topped over 800 million.
Whoa. Wow.
Which is crazy. And I think a lot of it has to do with, like I said, the nostalgia, the excitement, the time of the year and everything. What's the craziest thing, though, you've seen when it comes to pumpkin spice objects or like, marketing items?
I kind of feel like I've seen pumpkin spice everywhere, but did you guys know? So this all kind of started like Starbucks 2003, just like board of directors,
Wow.
marketing team, just sitting in a high rise, just thinking of how they can do something for the fall, because peppermint was big in like the winter time, and they were thinking like, what can we do in the fall? So it's crazy how just like a marketing team, how much they can expand and expose. Now it's like every other company has some type of pumpkin, some type of pumpkin spice, and it kind of really started with Starbucks 2003, year I graduated, so kind of dating myself a little bit.
You're dating
I'm
yourself
as old
there,
as the
George.
pumpkin spice latte.
I love it.
That's great. Well, I actually found out that the word pumpkin comes from the word, Greek word meaning large
Pepon?
melon.
Yes.
Yep. See,
Pep-
it all comes back to the
Everything
Greeks,
comes
right?
from
It
the
all comes
Greek.
back to-
The Greek. But
The
Lou, I gotta
Greek.
ask you. Lou, I gotta
Peponi.
ask you another question. One of the cool things that the education team does for
Cool.
Lira Clinicals, you guys put on some fantastic webinars with a lot of
do.
great information. And one of the questions that you had actually at the pumpkin peel webinar was talking about whether or not pumpkin is a fruit or vegetable.
So what was interesting is Tiffany and I watched this go live. So we popped it up into the webinar, and we saw as people voted who thought pumpkin was a vegetable or who thought it was actually a fruit. And it's actually a fruit. So just so you know, it actually has, and every part of the pumpkin is edible: skin, seeds, flesh, even the flowers. So that's really kind of cool too. But we were neck and neck. Little surprised that so many people thought it was actually a vegetable, and it is actually a fruit.
I thought it was under squash, in the squash
Yeah.
family. And so I was surprised when I heard that, and I'm saying, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was like zucchini and like all the different
Well,
squash.
so it's nutritionally, they act more like a vegetable, but they are a fruit.
Well, there's a lot that has to do with pumpkin too. There's a lot of what's inside pumpkin, all the different minerals and vitamins. Tiffany, can you kind of address what's in pumpkin and how it actually benefits the skin?
Pumpkin overall is wonderful for the skin in the sense that it does naturally contain a lot of vitamins as well as minerals that are beautiful to be able to utilize in skincare. With that in mind, pumpkin actually has a higher natural content of vitamin C than your average citrus fruits. So when we kind of think of vitamin C, we think of orange juice, lemons, grapefruit, what have you, but actually pumpkin contains more vitamin C. And then when we look towards pumpkin on the other side with vitamin A, because we know that vitamin A as well as vitamin C are two powerhouses in the skincare industry, there is a high content of beta carotene with vitamin A in pumpkin as well. So this is where you can see a lot of your masks and a lot of your creams that can incorporate pumpkin to benefit the skin. And then of course, on the mineral side, where we absolutely love our minerals here at Lira Clinical, we do have our magnesium as well as calcium and zinc. So when we look towards zinc, obviously we know that works beautifully for acneic skin, anti-inflammatory, calcium with aging, and magnesium to help with repair in the skin.
Guys, I wanted to kind of add, just kind of talking to like that beta carotene that you're kind of talking about, Tiffany. So, beta carotene, it's kind of something like a supplement that people would kind of take. There was like juicers, right? People who would like juice carrots, they would juice squash, and all of a sudden, you could start to see their skin color, their skin tone starts to take on that orange looking type of look as well. And, beta carotene in like the skincare world is fantastic. One of the main reasons it's ability to fight free radical damage and it being an antioxidant. But the other benefit is it being a precursor to vitamin A. So it's starting out as beta carotene in the body, your body being able to convert it into vitamin A. You're going to get just the same amazing like anti-aging benefits as you will as a topical vitamin A when you're utilizing that beta carotene as well. Has anybody juiced vitamin A or beta carotene? Anybody have that Oompa Loompa look?
Not to that point.
There's a story.
Actually, hold on. Yes.
There's-
when? I did when I was little, and I will have Fran tell that story because I guess there's this whole craze now on the beta carotene, like glowing up thing on social media. But Fran did this way back. You were a trendsetter back when I was a baby, Fran.
Way back. We're part of a cancer study, and beta carotene was great for cancer, actually. And that was one of the first things I heard about. So what I did when you were young, Anna, I used to make a vegetable soup with a lot of carrots. I would shred the carrots and make sure, and I had this orange soup with all these vegetables. And of course, I put some meat in there too. And I would make sure she had a couple of bowls a day. She fought back, and she always has been a fighter. Okay, she fought back, but I was able.
It's in the blood.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes, it is. And what happened is your hands started becoming orange. Your skin had this orange color to it. And so then I was reading up on it, and I found out, oh, okay, I'm doing a little too much now, so maybe I need to back off. But the first place I noticed it was on the palm of your hands. But yes, it was great since way back in the 80s. And yes, I'm dating myself, but way back in the 80s, we were
Dating me
discussing this.
too.
I'm dating you too. Absolutely. But it has been something that's been very, very important. So eating carrots is important. And again, when we put skincare together, it's important to understand how the body works so we understand how to put products together. So the benefits of pumpkin have always been there with carrots, beta carotene, all of this. So when you put a formulation together with all these benefits, you get a winner.
Who's seen the glowing up trend on social media?
Yeah, it's everywhere, isn't it? And I think that you see it either on the TikTok, you see it on the Instagram, on the Facebook. You see people either eating the carrots or taking the beta carotene, as George said, is as supplement. And
they put drops in their water, and then they drink so much of the water, and then before, and then all of a sudden after, and they have this beautiful glowing tan, and you're like, well, all right.
Yeah, and that's how they're pitching it too. It's kind of like be healthier with your sun exposure instead of go ahead and take beta carotene so you have a natural glow.
Or carrot soup. Or carrot soup will do it too.
Soup. You got to be careful about having too much of a good
Right,
at the same
always.
time, right? And that's one of the things to look out for is if you get it on your hands and your feet, right? So if it's start getting really orangey hands and orangey feet, that's when you know you might need a back.
Francine, were you washing Anna's hands like terribly rough using exfoliants to
yes,
try
I had
to
to
figure
figure
that
it all
out?
out. Absolutely. I was getting all the vegetables in there, and I was shredding them and putting them in the soup and making sure. I did not realize it. And I think it was on day 4 or 5 is when I realized it. So that's how fast it worked.
When's the last time you made a soup, Fran?
Okay.
She's
My
gonna make
favorite-
it tonight.
Just
Yes,
had to
no,
throw
my
it in.
favorite time of year is coming. So this is the time of year
Okay.
when we do get, as Tiffany and Lou and George are saying also at the same time, this is when we get comfortable and the soups now begin. So I will be making more, and especially because I want my skin to glow.
Okay.
Or maybe pumpkin pie, just eat that instead. Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pumpkin
I
pie.
do like some pumpkin. I mean, that has beta carotene. I mean, you got to
Yeah, I love pumpkin pie, but Metaxia over here messed it up for me. And I think I mentioned it one other time. We're Greek, and I think people might know that. And we had something called kolikithopita, which is like a pumpkin or squash with phyllo for fall.
Yeah.
That was our dessert that we had. So my mother did not make pumpkin pie. So I think it was when I first got married, I made my first pumpkin pie. And we were going to my mom's and my dad's for Thanksgiving. And of course, Metaxia was there too. And here I am walking in with 2 homemade pies. I had some dough and I made little leaves and put it on top, and I was all excited.
Oh.
And what happened is I put them on the counter, and Metaxia goes, "What did you do over there?" I go, "I made homemade pumpkin pie right next to all the Greek desserts." So what she does is she takes her finger and sticks it right into the pie and turns it and messes up my pie. I went into shock and I go, "What are you doing?" So we start arguing in front of everybody. And this is in front of our husbands, our children, our parents, our younger sister, everybody. Well, it got to the point there were 2 pies. So Metaxia and I took the 2 pies into my mom's laundry room.
Oh no.
And we had a pie fight.
Oh.
Okay.
We had a
Yeah.
pumpkin match.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
We
there
had
you
a
go.
pumpkin
Well,
match.
your skin probably looked really good afterwards.
It was
No,
Fran.
but
It was
yeah.
orange. It was
Yeah,
orange.
our parents were like in shock. Grown women acting like this? What is wrong with you? And our mother's like, in front of your husbands and everything. What are you doing in front of your children? And we're like,
It was
I love that.
It was an experience. It was an experience. And I have to say with Fran, it's like, don't touch her creation. And I was just a little teased, and I'm thinking, so what is this? And I put my finger in it, and she was insulted. And then we took it to
Would
the next level.
would anybody here be insulted if somebody did that to
It
your
wasn't
beautiful pot?
even. I was trying to show you that there was improvement that play with it. And you just looking at it like, oh my God. But it was great because you know something, we learned something.
Oh, what did you learn?
We learned,
I was like, what?
we
Don't
learned
mess with
something.
your pie.
We learned,
Don't mess with Fran.
don't mess with her pie and don't mess with Metaxia because we'll take it to the next level.
The boundaries. You
And
guys
we
found your
still-
boundaries.
Yeah,
There you go.
we
Yes.
still don't have boundaries.
Yes, Lou.
We still
We
don't
still
have
don't have boundaries. And
No,
I think all of you
no.
know this.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, obviously you're thinking of pumpkin, how you could have a pumpkin mask, pumpkin this. Pumpkin's obviously good for the face. But, Metaxia, let's talk about Lira Clinical and how you have turned that story into now a spectacular peel from the Smart Peel line called the Pumpkin Plus. What is the Pumpkin Plus peel and what's the plus?
Going back to her pie, it was standard.
Oh,
It was okay. Well, standard. We have
Standard.
learned standard. We have learned that we want extra. And I have learned that Lira wants to lyrify everything we do to another level. And pumpkin peels and pumpkin masks are very common in the industry. And for us, we want a response, we want a correction, we want a result. And when we put together our Pumpkin Plus, the word plus meant so many additional benefits. Peels literally communicate with the skin. And when we take a pumpkin enzyme, which is fantastic, like you're all saying, the benefits are incredible. And we add it with some of the formulas that we're known for, lactic and glycolic and retinol, a touch of salicylic. We've made a standard pumpkin pie into an amazing, amazing gourmet pie or gourmet or a high-end type of peel. And we pride ourselves in making it different. And when we train, we always say, we're not your standard. We stop and pay attention to the plus of our peel. And what's really nice is it says so many different things. And I think it's not just an enzyme, it is a corrective clinical type of peel, and we pride ourselves with that. And every one of these amazing educators have trained and really kind of brought the Pumpkin Plus into a whole new arena. And so that's the fun part of Lira. We've always do more.
they've all made it come alive.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would love for each one of them to tell us what's your favorite part of the pumpkin peel, and we can start with George.
I'll probably start this. So I think as we're kind of going through the Pumpkin Plus, there's traditional aspects of a traditional kind of pumpkin enzyme or pumpkin pill, where we do have the traditional pumpkin that you're going to find in there, but we also have fermented pumpkin in there. So that's going to also assist with the digestive enzymes to kind of break down specific proteins within the skin. But I think something that truly kind of sets us apart compared to others, in addition to all the other amazing things that you had mentioned, is there's a different, there's an amino acid blend that you're going to find in here. So there's like your lysine, there's your arginine, there's valine. So different amino acids that are, amino acids are, protein when they come together. So the building blocks of healthy collagen and elastin, which you'll find in here. But in addition to that, there's also a peptide in here, which is the acetylhexapeptide 8. Usually known as arginine in our industry. And so this is almost like a Botox-like type of peptide where it can reduce the wrinkles or the wrinkle depth. So not only are we getting like a nice resurfacing kind of peel, you're also getting other ingredients that are going to benefit healthy skin. It's going to benefit younger, youthful looking skin in addition. So it's almost like a full circle pumpkin peel that you don't just have to use during this time. I know it's highly marketed and highly promoted around this time, but it's great year round.
Yeah.
It really kind of is that solution of a peel, peptide, and probiotic. Because the pumpkin that is utilized is fermented, it is that natural probiotic in the product. And so this is where you can find that it works so beautifully for many different skin conditions as well. So you have aging, acne, hyperpigmentation, all of those can benefit from this lyrified pumpkin solution.
I totally agree with you, Tiffany. One of the things that, since I am somewhat the newer kid on the block, I like to always say that I always baby step everything, and yes, I've had my moments where I've done some GPS unlimiteds, but in trying some new things out. But with this treatment, that being my favorite is actually our pumpkin probiotic treatment, which is our hybrid treatment. Phenomenal service. I was a little taken back, and Tiffany warned me when I first did it. She's like, "Hey, Lou, it's got a punch of spice. Really, is that's what we always.
Spicy.
It's going to be spicy. And again, you see all those other marketed pumpkin treatments that are out there, and they just don't quite kick in the way this one does. And doing a hybrid, I was like, oh, okay, I don't feel anything at first. So the way you do it is we apply this amazing hydrating mineral mask on, and then we layer it with that pumpkin. And I sat there for about a minute, and then I was like, oh, I'm finally feeling something. And then all of a sudden I was like, breathing through it. Mind you, I've had children without medication. So I was like, this is interesting. So I did stay with it for about a minute or so. And I have to say that the result for a woman in menopause, I still have an occasional breakout. And like Tiffany said, this is fabulous for that oily acne and that combination skin still, a little bit of dehydration. But my skin glowed. It plumped up, just like George was saying. And it really is such a great first treatment for somebody that's about to go into a GPS, maybe 3D series.
That's a favorite. And the word probiotic is key here because a lot of people do understand that it's helping balance the microbiome, and it's skin friendly when it's a probiotic. But as Metaxia said, as it's skin friendly, it also delivers the AHAs and a touch of BHA. So the fact that there's glycolic and lactic is the surprise, because when people ask for the pumpkin peel, that's Lu's saying, and suddenly now it's a little more spicier than they expected. As you said, Anna, pumpkin spice. This became a pumpkin spice peel because the AHA makes it a little more of a clinical treatment versus just an enzymatic treatment. So it makes a big difference. And people get surprised, but they love the results because great results.
And the SMART concept is really important to emphasize here. Our peels are SMART peels for a reason. Formulas have changed, deliveries have changed, blends have changed. And for us, the pumpkin has been such a staple in the industry going back to, I think, 1990. I think the first pumpkin peel was in 1991 or something like that. But we've learned so much. And Lira constantly is growing with research and understanding the benefits. And that blend and that formula is so unique. And that's when we say Lirify it, making it into a SMART peel delivery for multiple benefits. It's not just for one thing, like Tiffany mentioned, the list of conditions, it's so much more. And I think that comparing us to other peel lines is we try a little bit extra. And that is, Francis, again, I'm not cutting down your pie. You put the extra.
It was gourmet and it had all the extra.
Yes,
it
you
was
had
a
to-
smart pie.
There you
It
go.
was a
smart
great
pie.
smart pie.
It was the beginning of the smart peel
wonderful.
pumpkin plus.
It was, yes, it was the beginning. It was the beginning. And you know something, and all coming back, your pie tastes better than the store-bought pie because you did that extra. Even though it
How
didn't
many
have
years
the,
did I have to
didn't
wait
have
to
the
hear
look.
that?
Didn't have the look.
Okay.
But
It's
I'll tell
recorded
you-
now,
Right.
It's recorded.
It's recorded.
It's good.
You know,
It's good.
Metaxia, you
It's
said
good. I
something
gotta give it
actually
up.
that was about how long ago people were doing pumpkin masks, right? Do you know that in the
Yeah.
19th and early 20th century, herbal and folk medicine, pumpkin
Yes.
pulp, seeds,
Yes.
and juice were used to help
Yes.
remove freckles?
Oh, there
Yes.
you go.
Like crazy.
That's right. That's right.
What's
I
the
read
science
that.
Yeah, you
behind
know,
that?
the natural acids behind pumpkin would give you a natural kind of nice glow, even out the tone, but really it wasn't a long-term freckle remover.
No, it
awesome.
wasn't strong enough, but the pumpkin does help with hyperpigmentation. It does. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. It's the pumpkin itself, not even the seeds. So both.
Enzymatic. It's an enzymatic with a fantastic blend of deliverables that into the skin.
As Lou was saying, that signature treatment was a hybrid. There was
Yes.
another favorite that we had. And Tiffany,
Yes.
this was,
Okay.
if you remember this was years ago. That was the first time, what year was it?
Oh.
1900s? No.
I want to say it was probably like 2015, maybe 2016.
Around 2015?
It's probably, it was around there, but we had our amazing body silk souffle that if you haven't tried, you need to. But it has just this beautiful whipped silky consistency. And so we were trying to come up obviously with a fall favorite. And of course we thought of pumpkin, and I was like, what if we try these two together? Got a little pushback and they're like, that's for the body. And I'm like, Sidebar, I live in Utah and it's always dry. And when my skin's super dry, I put the silk souffle on my face. But that's when we whipped it together, and oh my goodness, it makes an amazing mask. It is a beautiful hybrid that you put the silk souffle with the pumpkin plus, and that's kind of where we started when we started with our body confidence guide and being able to utilize it as an entire body treatment.
I think the first time it was more of a sensory experience
100%.
because it did feel like you had pumpkin pie on your
Yes.
face. It was wonderful. The scent was
Yes.
beautiful. It was silky,
Hint,
creamy. It was like
hint,
whipped
hint,
cream.
hint,
It was great.
hint,
I mean,
hint.
obviously, inspiration there. Pumpkin
No
pie
surprise
on the
you
face.
came up with that one.
It was, yeah, the sensory. Yes, you know, way ahead of my time. Way ahead. It was in the 80s. That's how far back we're talking. And so the nice part about it was not only it, gave you great results, but the fact that you put it on and you felt that creaminess and that the scent and the hydration, and then you did get some exfoliation was great. So it was a huge success that we ran a few
Yes.
times.
Yeah.
And by putting it in the body, it's another success, because even through the pumpkin and even through everything else, those AHAs get through. Lira Clinical makes sure that those AHAs will get through and get results.
Well, you still felt, even with that, having a heavier cream that you were combining the pumpkin plus with, there was still that slight activity, that slight warmth that you felt on the skin.
Mhm.
And my absolute favorite when using our pumpkin plus is the fact that about, I would say maybe a day or two later, your skin just feels so, it's taunt, but it's hydrated. It's just that the beautiful blend and balance of both worlds that makes it one of my absolute favorites.
So the firming is a big one probably for that.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yes, that's what I absolutely enjoy is the fact that with, peptides combined with those enzymes really give you that unique sensation and that unique experience on the skin.
And then what about like toning and like circulation, and also people may be going through, like if they're going through GLP-1s, are we finding that that's a great thing to kind of partner together?
You can do that with your body treatments. And of course, we know that skincare just doesn't stop at the chin. We need to do it from head to toe. And so that's where a lot of the times you can combine various treatments together. I always recommend home care because that's going to be part of that process. So when clients are looking towards, or patients are utilizing weight loss programs, this is where absolutely being able to combine, for example, our body firming lotion, but coming in clinic and receiving those body firming tightening treatments. And they can be specific to body areas like the décolleté or the upper arms or your torso, but also full body as well.
Can I add something real quick? Because I really wanted to note it in this podcast. George said something really, really important. It's not a fall peel. It's an all year long peel.
Yep.
And what he said earlier is that we can take it through a journey of many different hybrids. We can make it into a journey of many different layers. But this is such a staple in the back bar of the aesthetic industry. And so, like you said, George, earlier, it is all year long. It's just that, for us, we are kind of bringing it up now, but it is such a all year long peel.
Well, we've also now GPS2'd it,
Yes.
which means that we've increased it. And we're very excited because the fact that we have new technology in our peels that we could add to the strength of the pumpkin peel is very exciting.
Real quick, for people who don't know, who may not have attended webinars and stuff, explain GPS.
GPS for us is a system understanding the depth of a protocol. And so a hybrid is really kind of blending a peel and modifying it so it's not considered a straight on peel. And then we start to the GPS 1s through 4. GPS 1 is a peel solution, one modality. GPS 2 is 2 different peel modalities, either blended or layered. GPS 3 is 3 different modalities, and GPS 4 is definitely for professionals with the right education, but it is going deeper into the skin. So we evaluate what the skin needs, and we can actually determine the depth and the actual communication that the peels will do within the epidermis. So it's
And
really
in GPS, we incorporate Fitzpatrick, and we incorporate Glogau. So
Yeah.
when you're understanding the guide and protect system, and that is the name of the GPS, where we guide and protect, it's a system that actually allows us to get the results that we show all over the world, because we're getting great results with using the GPS system.
And I think, as being the newer person in the group again, one of the things about the education that I've learned, educating the educator, of course, we are very systematic. And I think that is so important when you're dealing with the skin, because you can create a lifelong condition if you're not careful. So that GPS system is brilliant. It really is. So that's the one thing that I love to really kind of drill into the actual esthetician that's working with it and the new products. And being new to Lira, it's so important for us to actually be mindful and give the skin what it needs instead of what maybe we want to do.
And then do each of you have like your favorite protocols? And then also, what are your post-care and finishing products recommendations when it comes to using the Pumpkin Plus?
Yeah, I tend to go to the GPS one. So like Metaxia was saying, kind of GPS one, that's gonna be our one modality. So in a traditional kind of protocol setting, I'm utilizing the Pumpkin Plus as kind of a standalone. So I'm not cutting down any of the activity. I'm not increasing any of the activity. I'm utilizing it as a standalone. I do like that spice, but I'm not as brave as Lu here. So I'm not doing a GPS unlimited. But I tend to mainly stick with this one as a GPS one, where I utilize it kind of as a standalone, and I actually love it. And of course, post care, home care, I'm SPF 100%. Like, number one anti-aging product is going to be an SPF. Like even post care, SPF all day long is, I think, where I don't think I stopped talking about it during the day, actually.
Yeah.
It's that non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to wear SPF, it's like you want to be like, what are you doing? You're just exposing yourself to additional damage. So.
And Tiffany, and everything we do, and Lu, everything we do for education, non-negotiable. SPF. We are talking about all these great benefits, and now what we have to do is maintain those benefits. So you're absolutely right. SPF is so very, very important.
I was just going to say my absolute favorite product, hands down, is our Mystique Illuminating Beauty Oil. It pairs beautifully as a finishing product that you can use after pumpkin in clinic, but it also is one of my absolute favorites for home care just because it's so versatile. My favorite way to use it is obviously just by itself. It's so concentrated, but it gives your skin just the ultimate balance in hydration. And because it does have multiple oils in it that really just are skin friendly, they mimic your skin's natural oils. It just works beautifully, and I absolutely love the terpene content with the Mystique oil.
That's great. I think my favorite, really, and I couldn't live without it, I never want to live without it, is either the Pro Light or Pro Bright. And I go back and forth because I suffer from some post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from a bad chemical peel that was done to me decades ago. Been in this industry for 25 years. And I have to say that because we have 98% of our products are brightening agents throughout the line, it really evened out my tone. George once told me that when I first started, I was going to notice the change and that I would be really comfortable using just our BB or our Elio drops with a little bit of tint. And I do. I love it. And I'm sometimes, just so you know, I mix the two of them together, the BB tint and the Elio drops.
Nice.
My skin just glows. And it's actually yesterday when we were talking, I had that on and I'm comfortable. My post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is under control. It's much more even tone. And yes, you can definitely get away with not feeling so naked, if you will.
And professionals do the worst to ourselves. That's why when you have PIH, we've tried everything, done everything we should not have done. And this is where we know, okay, this is how
that's the beauty of what we do, right? Because if we don't do that, then how are we going to know what we're going to learn, right? Metaxia, when I did that lovely treatment, was freaking out when we were trying out a new service. And she was like, oh, we got to wait to see what she does, what happens, right? And I slept nicely. I didn't, it wasn't terrible. Nicely. It accomplished the goal that I was looking to do. So
it's important what you said. We have to try it on ourselves first. And the educational department works really hard to always test out protocols, new ideas and new concepts. And we really farm it out to be sure that we verify what we're saying. And the one that is brand new that we've introduced this fall is our Pumpkin Plus with our Exo Retinol peel. The Pumpkin Plus has done incredible, but when we've brought in these new peels, we've actually combined some of them, and the GPS2 of the Pumpkin Plus and the Exo Retinol is amazing. Because our Exo Retinol delivers, it's like a filler, and delivers lipids into the skin. So whatever you've exfoliated, digested it as an enzyme prep, or as a first start of a peel, what you're doing is filling that with a lot of hydration. So that's a go-to for the fall. I think we need volumizing, we need plumping, we need hydration after the summer months. You need the correction. You know, during the summer, we are exposed a little bit more to the elements, the sun and the heat. And so having a little bit of exfoliation with an enzyme type of approach and filling up all that area that is dehydrated or just needs to be volumized, this peel combination is going to be one of the best that Lira has to offer for a really long time. I mean, I'm impressed with what it's done. What do you guys think?
It gives you the best of both worlds. I mean, you have
Mm-hmm.
your pumpkin that, you know, kind of has that from the outside in approach in working with skin health, but then our exoretinoid works from the inside out with that beautiful new technology in liposalvation. So that's where it's such a balanced, but again, it gives you the best of both worlds in that regard.
Well, and we just this week received actually some pictures actually from someone who tried out that service, a client of ours, and the results for that were amazing.
In one treatment.
Incredible in terms of brightening the skin, but the plumping from the exoretinoid, you know, that just basically filled this woman's. She was in her 70s, and these pictures are amazing to see how tight and toned and then plump her 11s were gone.
Very, very important because she looked younger. I mean, number one, she looked younger because her skin glowed and brighter skin. That is for sure.
Doing peels for a long time, understanding that we have totally changed. It's really volumizing, building the skin. Healthy skin is where we're looking to achieve, and that gives us that youthful appearance that we're running and so hard to obtain. So it is volumizing, and I think our lipid salvation new peels are amazing. They're new in the industry. I haven't seen anybody else. Just imagine doing a peel without altering the pH of someone's skin.
Right.
So the technology, I mean, again, as one of the owners, and Francine agrees with me, we're so proud of this group. It takes a lot to keep up with research and development in this industry. It's changing all the time. We're constantly in communication. They're constantly testing. They're constantly bringing things to the table. We're working as a team. So we're not a typical skincare line. It's a team effort. And everyone, every opinion, every touch and feel makes us a better company and a better skincare line and a better line in whole. So again, whoever's listening to this podcast, you should be really amazed in this group. And we're really proud.
And we have a ton of more information on our EDU, Lira EDU section on our website. So we're very proud of this team, as Metaxia says. The one thing I'd like to add is our new Exotech Retinoid is a great, great peel. But remember, when they go home, they should be using great products to go after these treatments. And the Pro Retinol Plus with hydroxysome technology of retinaldehyde, hydroxysome technology of adenosine to actually help with collagen and elastin, and hydroxysome technology for resveratrol for anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. So in clinic, you're getting these great results, but then you have to go home and continue these treatments. And as the team said here, sunscreen. Sunscreen is so very important. Cellular skincare, Pro Retinol Plus, Pro Light, Pro Bright. All of these are so very important so we could make sure to maintain all these great results. But this team, when we bring in a formulation, and then we sit with this team and we break down all the ingredients, they bring it to life, and we're very proud of all of you, because what we are trying to do is share this passion that we have with everyone, and you do a great job of doing that. So thank you.
And then I got to ask also, is there like an ideal client when it comes to using a pumpkin peel, or maybe are there any contraindications, or maybe somebody say, hey, maybe they shouldn't use pumpkin? What would you say?
Retinol is a problem, Anna, because that retinol and pregnancy. And the fact that this is a Lira Clinical peel, and we do have glycolic and lactic, but we also added retinol. So this is not a peel for anybody who's pregnant. So this is the one person that you should not be doing this treatment on.
I think it's important to assess and get a history of someone before you select a peel. But the key to all of it is really maintaining the excitement that the skin needs. So pumpkin could be one of many opportunities to go into the epidermis, but it's just assessing, what we found is that you don't want to continue on the same thing. You want to keep the skin moving and in motion. And the pumpkin plus peel should be offered as a hybrid on a first-time visit before you go right into a GPS-1. You should really do a good assessment. I can't talk enough about proper assessment, proper documentations, consent forms. These are really important steps, and build your chart and see what they do and what the skin likes. My take on a pumpkin plus might be different than George or Lou or Tiffany, but really understanding and reading the skin will give you a direction. Having the tools, Lira Clinical wants to give you the tools to pick and choose what will work for that individual. Customizing a treatment, it's really important at this level right now with clinical skincare.
The nice part about this, I think everybody on this podcast, except Anna, I don't think I've done all the GPSs on you at this point, but they've all GPS pumpkin quite well, I think.
I do love it. I know everything I've been reading on the pumpkin peel. I think we did it a while back. I remember thinking like the anti-aging, all the benefits that you can get from it. It's like, I want to do it. Like every time I do it, I'm like, I want to get this one. I gotta go come in and get that one done.
Well, I would have to say too, let's not forget the compliant client, right? It's that client that's willing to take responsibility for their skin. You're hiring, I talk to estheticians all the time about them being like a skin coach. Because if you go to a fitness instructor and you're coached through fitness, you don't think twice about doing the things you need to do until the next time you see them, right? It's the same thing with skin. You need to continue to do all the things that are protecting the skin and treating the skin properly, hydrating your body so that we actually can perform other services. Dehydrated skin is not our friend, right?
And you said something, 80% of our success is home care. And you could go to a coach and do a treatment or do a workout, but then when you go home and not continue what they recommend, you're not going to get the success. And home care, home treatments will be very valuable if they really are compliant to what you recommend as a coach, aesthetic coach. It's important because it's not just a treatment. It's not one and done. It's a lot more, and it's become an art. So when you really have a patient or client that's compliant, you will get that result and maintain that result longer.
And not to follow the latest TikTok trends. Because most of the time they're not even professionals that are speaking to them. So,
I think one of the big surprises with the pumpkin, it's great for acne.
Yes.
This treatment works very, very well for acne. I think we surprise a lot of people because usually they don't choose the pumpkin. It's more or less the salicylic, the shikimic, the pure peel, the Jesner. We'll find all the other peels, but we are getting great results even with the pumpkin because of the enzyme, the AHA, and the retinol.
And its ability to reduce topical inflammation as well.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. I know that fall is the pumpkin time, but this is a peel that can be used all year round. But this is a great opportunity for estheticians to also introduce this to clients. This time of year, since everyone's in the pumpkin craze, like, hey, have you tried the pumpkin peel? Guess what? You can use it all year round. So that's the one thing where, yes, I know we joke about like the whole marketing behind pumpkin, but it's a great way to introduce people to those who have never done it before. So I think it's absolutely a fantastic idea. But obviously you guys have wonderful information. Lira Clinical has fantastic education, a fantastic education program. George, can you tell us about where people can get more information if they're interested in hearing more from you guys, getting the webinars, getting all that stuff too, and also learning more about pumpkin?
Yeah, so we actually have quite a bit of different resources, like educational resources, whether it comes like a weekly webinar that Lou hosts, whether it's a monthly webinar where the whole entire education team kind of jumps on. We have downloadables. All of that can be found on the Lira Clinical website. So a lot of the content that we do have is available for licensed professionals. So when you get onto the Lira Clinical website, you want to just enter in your information. You'll get approved within about 24 to 48 hours. And that's one way to get access to like professional information. However, we also have information just that's kind of casual reading, casual learning that anybody can just come on and look on. And so on the Lira Clinical website, just checking out our blog, checking out additional podcasts, you'll be able to find all that information just by going to liraclinical.com. And you'll see an education and resource button that you'll want to click on.
And they can search ingredients too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can search feature on the website as well. Yep. But when you do get onto the website, make sure to sign up for our newsletter, because we also have an amazing educational newsletter that comes out once a month that our education team puts a lot of kind of effort and support and newer trends. Anything that's new or that we're going to be featuring, we'll find in the newsletter as well. So make sure you subscribe to that.
Wonderful. A lot of great information today. I think we need to all bring up our lattes, chais, coffees, and do a little cheers for pumpkin here, everybody. A little cheers for the pumpkin.
And pumpkin pie, Anna.
And pumpkin pie.
Peel season.
And pumpkin
Peel
peel.
season,
yes.
And peel season, here we are.
It's always a good peel season. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll go and find that they have a pumpkin spice deodorant out there. They have the weirdest things you can find.
God.
But forget that stuff. I'm just going with the pumpkin plus. I think that's what we need. Pumpkin peel, that's what we're going with today. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank
You guys are
you.
wonderful.
It's been great.
Lira Clinical, everyone loves you guys, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the show on any of your favorite podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can also watch the show on Spotify and on Lira Clinical's YouTube page by going to @Lira Clinical. And follow SkinDepth Convo on all our social media channels. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. Just go to @SkinDepth Convo. And if you have any questions for Francine and Metaxia, you can send us an email by going to info@skindepthconvo.com. That's info@skindepthconvo.com. And a big thank you again to George, Tiffany, and Lu for joining us. And thank you for tuning into the show. For all of us at A SkinDepth Convo, I'm Anna Kagarakis, and we'll talk soon.
This podcast is brought to you by Lira Clinical and the award-winning Mystique Illuminating Beauty Oil. Mystique Beauty Oil's amazing skin-friendly hydration delivers potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatories with Lira Clinical's exclusive Mass Tech brightening technology. This luxury oil blend is infused with vitamin C for a clean, dry finish on the skin. Use by itself or add to your favorite hydrator. Beauty oil delivers your glow and go look. Contact your local Lira retailer for additional information at liraclinical.com.